What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to Mana Rant, episode 24, season 1. I know last week I said that we're going to be entering in season 2, but we all decided that with Kaldheim fast approaching, that we should end the season according to box sets. So stay tuned and we'll give you guys some more info on how we're going to do seasons. But for now, we're going to keep it as is. But we are a historic podcast. We specialize in everything historic with a little splash of Commander as well. And we are the Mana Dorks. My name is Michael Apollo, and I am very proud to be a simp and a 3/3 elemental for Nissa. So, I mean, I'll die for her any day of the week. And this man loves to be sacrificed for his angel goddess, Sarah. We have Hoshi.
Oh, man. It would be an honor, to give myself to the great one.
And this man would also love to sacrifice his life for just to be a zombie, just to live eternally for her. Liliana, of course, is what I'm talking about. We have Drunken Dork.
Oh, yeah. I've already devoted my love to her. Look at that. I have a Liliana tattoo on me. That's how devoted I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
The devotion to Lily,
It's sad,
Make
really.
that mechanic. So, yeah, once again, we are the Mana Dorks, and the way that the Mana Rant works is we follow the actual phases of Magic. So we have our Untap, our Upkeep, Draw, Main Phase, Combat, Main Phase 2, End Step, Cleanup, and Discard. And just a quick little preface here. Thanks to comments from people on Reddit, our fans, through YouTube and through the like, we'll be sure to add very descriptive connotations, like annotations into the video. So that way, if you guys want to skip forward, see exactly what you want, because sometimes we, mana rant a little long, so that way you can quickly get to the thing you want to see. And with that, you start every game of Magic with our untap step, and that's just where we untap a drink of our choice. So let's untap her up, boys.
Oh, yeah. Pretty excited about this one.
What do you got,
I'm
wine?
excited about this one, too.
Negative, dude. Well, old school wine, I guess.
Mead, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Whoa. All right, well, we're going to get into that. But I am drinking Church Music IPA, a local brew to Tempe, Arizona. It is a very delicious, juicy, hazy. It's one of my favorite beers from Arizona, absolutely. And it's hazy, which is something I usually drink on the show. It's very citrusy, very crisp. And it's very good on this cold Phoenix night. So let's go with, while Hoshi is preparing his drink, let's go with Drunken Dork. What are you drinking this week?
I'm drinking local like I almost always do. And it's Elysian Space Dust. This is IPA, which is very off-brand for me, considering I'm almost always drinking stouts or porters. But I don't know, for some reason, I've been working in my yard like literally all day digging a fucking moat around my house. I want to keep alligators and shit in there so I can get all the homeless people out of my house. No, really, it's not why. It's because I got to get the fucking rain out of my basement is why. And
oh, wow.
And so I've been doing that all day, and then something like refreshing like an IPA just sounded really good to me, so here I am.
Always good after work, dude.
Yeah.
Love the IPAs. Hosh, what are you drinking?
My God. So one of my coworkers, he makes mead, and one of my other coworkers, he raises bees. So the one coworker got the honey from the other one, and it takes like 4 or 5 months, I guess, to make mead properly and to like clarify it. And so he threw a bunch of like cinnamon and apples and stuff in the mead, and then he sweetened it with honey because he distilled it like way too much, and it's like 12%. So it's pretty gnarly. So he like let it sit longer and sweetened it. Oh man. This is good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love the idea of mead. I mean, it's like, I think the most ancient alcohol. So, I mean, it's cool. It's made from honey, like it's like halfway between a beer and a wine. So odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Super
I just
cool,
went on when I was up in Savannah over break, I went on a mead tasting, and the guy gave us, he was this hipster who gave us like a full blown like lesson on mead. Nice. And like, it's the oldest thing. And like, yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Super cool. Well, cheers, boys. Let's have a good episode.
Cheers.
And cheers to all you out there.
I guess I got to drink it.
Very delicious. All right. So moving on, we go into our Upkeep. And Upkeep is our Reddit our Reddit rant, and I'm going to turn it over to Hosh, and he's going to explain to us what we're going to be doing this week.
All right, so Reddit Rant is where I look through the internet to try and find somebody who is kind of losing their mind about Magic, right? I mean, we've all lost our mind about Magic. Magic is a game that invokes strong emotions, and some people love to scream it into the void of the internet. I think this week we just got a real humdinger of a gem. So this is on the MTG Reddit, so the big one, and this guy, he even put a video in with it, which is just great. And he starts off with FML, which is this guy's definitely a millennial from how many acronyms he's using. Fuck my life. That's some dumb shit. Wow. MTG Arena is nothing but meme builds. You allow that monstrosity, but ban the cards I want to use because they're too OP in quotations. Then allow this. Wow. Allow all the cards if you're gonna allow crude like this. Fucking A. Laugh out loud. And in the video is just his opponent has down Veto, Thorn of the Dust Road, and Exquisite Blood, which is an infinite combo, but it hasn't gone off yet. And he also has Soul Warden on the field. Our opponent has Brazen Borrower in his hand. He could stop the combo just by returning Veto or Exquisite Blood back to his opponent's hand. But no, he decides to cast a creature, proccing Soul Warden, which starts the infinite combo. And then you could see him mad scrambling around to figure out what the fuck is going on before he dies.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's great.
I love that he starts the combo. That's the best part about it.
One of my favorite comments from this is like the top comment where he says, "Yeah, you're right. Let's ban a relatively easy combo to handle with and allow Oko." You know, like what? Yeah, it's so ridiculous, man. Like this is one of the easiest combos to deal with, right? I feel like. Especially in mono black and brawl, because it is a 5-drop and a 3-drop, and yeah, sure and you need a thing to proc it with life gain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you know, like what? First of all, know the cards you're playing against, right? Like it's not, it's not hard. It's just like you got to read. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
reading's hard.
Yeah, apparently, like it's kind of sad. Like like read the fucking card like gets like really overused and abused. Like shit, bronze players say that could be like when someone's like really new and just doesn't know. Like they're just asking. It's one thing to be an asshole when someone's just trying to figure something out, but the combo's on the board. He has all the pieces, and the thing I find the most hilarious, he's playing blue-white. Yeah, like he's playing Azorius. Yeah. He's playing the exact colors that could deal with this problem. And also the comments are just also hilarious. Like Drunken instead, like like this guy says like maybe read the card so you don't lose by just playing a creature. Yeah, or like get good. Yeah, or that's hilarious. Or because like a 9-mana combo, which you yourself could have easily read the cards on the field and avoided, is absolutely busted, and Obnath is not. Got it. Like,
yeah,
this is a hilarious post, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I like what I don't get is this person just like memeing themselves? Like, was this on purpose, or were they just like so idiotic that they didn't even realize that they started the combo? I don't.
No, they didn't. You could see by how he's like frantically looking around, like after he starts it, he's like, "What is this shit?" Huh?
Yeah, it's great.
I like how this is why I think he might not be trolling, because he's like trying to like rally everyone, like, right, this is bullshit, right? And then everyone's like, no, this is a silly combo that you lost to, which you enabled, like.
Yeah.
Bounce anything. Bounce Soul Warden, bounce Veto, get rid of Exquisite Blood, counter it. I mean, I don't know. You got Brazen Borrower. You have Yorion.
He had the answer. Yeah, he had the answer in his hand.
Plenty of mana from what I see. I mean, I don't know. It looks like he has at least 6 mana. With Jace, Scry, find the. I don't know.
Yeah,
I love how he's like
this guy got like the golden rainbow road. Like he got everything he was wishing for. Like, man, this combo's working against Azorius. Like, sweet.
He's the best part is I love how he's like he goes down to the emotes, but he doesn't know what to emote. He's just like
yeah, in the video.
Yeah. This one's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's really good.
So that's right around where we try and find crazy people. And Tarasu Asari, you are a lunatic and we love your post. We will add the link to this Reddit post in the description if you guys want to check it out and laugh at this dude. It's pretty great. And if you guys have a good Reddit rant that you want to send to us, just send it our way. I mean, I love to look at this kind of stuff. So back to you, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. And if you guys do want to send it, be sure to send it to our Gmail at drunkenmanadorks@gmail.com. That's drunken, DRUNKEN, manadorks@gmail.com. So that is our Reddit rant, which is our upkeep. And always after your upkeep is our draw phase. And that's just what other magic formats have we been playing this week. It doesn't necessarily have to be what we've been playing, but maybe Magic related, because there's a lot of things going on in Magic right now, especially with Kaldheim coming out. So I'm going to turn it over to Drunken Dork. What have you been doing this week in the world of Magic?
Historic Brawl mostly, and then climbing the ladder in Historic. That's about it. Like nothing too exciting. I have been really wanting to get back into Commander. I finally channel Fireball after like over a month of holding my cards there. They sent it to me, so I'm finally getting my cards. So I'm gonna
holding them hostage, man,
for real. And so they're going to
nice.
So I'm gonna make not only am I getting those packs for the horseshit card game, but I'm also getting cards for one of this commander deck I've been building for like months now. So I'm gonna build that hopefully tomorrow and play it.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Hoshi, what about you? What have you been doing this week?
Historic Brawl was a queue this week. I think it's about to end today, unfortunately, for anyone that's listening. But yeah, it was great. I was playing the Historic rank, trying to rank up a little bit this time. And I was also playing the this combo deck that I was screwing around with, and we'll talk about combos in the next phase. But yeah, it's kind of rough. And then I got a version of it that works pretty good, I think. Too. So yeah, I was actually doing a lot of screwing around on Arena this week. It's
nice.
It was a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
For myself, I was playing with my play group in Commander this week.
Cool.
Some pretty solid games. I had a lot of fun. I got to play my friends' decks because where I was at in the Phoenix area, I wasn't able. It would not make sense to drive home, get my decks, drive back. So they're like, just come over. You can play with one of our decks. So I played with Lothiel, the Azorius unicorn that puts counters dependent on if you gain life this turn, right? And the keyword is this turn. So it's a life gain deck and a counter deck, like a +1/+1 counter deck. So the idea is like I had Soul Warden out. And so just everyone was like, well, I got to play something. And I'm gaining life. I'm putting counters. My stuff's getting bigger. And I had like a really cool like artifact combo going on. So I was able to get Aetherflux Reservoir out. And,
nice.
And I was just pretty much like the politicking like master. People were just like making deals like, hey man, if you don't like attack me, or kill me for 50, like I won't do anything to you. And I'm like, all right, cool. There was like an argument. Like the other guy's like, he is the strongest thing on the board. Like you literally just like prevented him from touching you for one like cycle. He's gonna kill one of us. Like you just made his choices. So it was like this big argument that was going on, and it was cool to like sit on the throne. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So yeah, needless to say, I won that game. And in Arena, I've been playing exclusively Historic Brawl. I love Historic Brawl.
Same.
They should definitely make this a queue. I've been playing a lot of Joyra, the Weatherlight Captain.
Nice.
is like my favorite is it combo aside from the Locust God. Is it is a really cool guild that I like to utilize and abuse. And what's cool about Joyra in a Historic Brawl, it's 1v1, right? So it's not everyone watching me Dexter bait. It's just one person. So it also makes the game like relatively faster as opposed to killing three people. I just need to kill the one, right? And then Gishath, the sun's avatar, the dinosaur tribal.
Yeah.
I play that in real paper, so it was really fun to make and build in Historic Brawl. We're going to go into our main phase. And that is combo. So something we've talked about pretty extensively in this channel, in this series, is like the rock, paper, scissors, the triangle that is what Wizards has developed. And that is aggro, mid-range, and combo. One is really good against the other, and the other isn't so good against the other, right? And it kind of like repeats that. But what's really cool about the mechanics and the rulings in Magic is that with certain pieces of cards, you actually create another archetype, and that's combo. And essentially what combo is you find cards throughout Magic's history, and you kind of break the game. Triggers happen, things go on the stack, and XYZ happens, and usually, right, like typically that leads to either auto concedes or something goes off infinitely to where you win, or, you know, you mill yourself, and if you were to mill, you win the game. So you abuse certain card pieces to enable that. And something that Hoshi has like kind of like delved in very deeply, he talked about this last week, and that's why we're talking about it this week, is, well, what about the historic format in general? Like, how many infinite combos can we find? What can we use? Like, it could be on the lines of Fringe, but I think like having this combo list and talking about it is pretty relevant. So I'm going to turn it over to Hoshi. He's going to go a lot more detail. But essentially what we're talking about is that niche, that one that's outside. It's not part of the three. It's combo. It's really fun. It's really cool. Hoshi, take it away.
All right, guys. So I don't know what happened, but I got a bug up my butt, and I just had to figure out what infinite combos were available in Historic. So infinite combos now, combo is like a word that gets thrown around a lot, right? Like two cards can come together and have an interaction that does something interesting, and that can be a combo, right? That's not what I'm talking about here. There's just an infinite amount of those in Arena. What I'm talking about is infinite combos. So this is one that once you start it, there's something that triggers this combo to go off, right? And then this combo just loops. It just continuously loops until something breaks it, all right? Or the game draws, right? So the way that I defined it was once the combo starts, it just continues to go until you kill the opponent, you die, you mill yourself, or you just break the combo and stop it, or the game draws because it just goes off into infinity, which is also something that can happen where you just draw the game and you just make a nonsense infinity loop forever. So now looking at the list that I've compiled through the help of Reddit users. Actually, I made a post about this and I got a lot of good responses, and I did some other additional research. And so right now in Historic on this list, I have 27 infinite combos that are possible in Historic, and this is not all of them too. I know I'm missing a few on this list. So that's a lot. That's a lot of infinite combos, I think. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's quite a few, right?
Yeah, it is.
And so I compiled a Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to make available to everyone on here. I'm going to post it, and then I'll put it in the comments as well. So if you guys want to screw around with some of these infinite combos, but I've tried to sort it by the least amount of cards possible to make the combo, and then outwards that way. And so looking at this list, I've just seen that there's some cards that are really combo like efficient or like very easy to make combos with, and the main one that I see is Luminous Broodmoth. There are so many combos that, and Luminous Broodmoth, also known as like Mothra the Supersonic Queen, is a card that stops it once you die, you come back with a flying counter on you. But if you stop that person from coming back with the flying counter on them, which there's a bunch of ways to do that with like Solemnity and Sun Cleanser and Quarry Hauler, there's a bunch of cards that take off counters. So if you have Luminous Broodmoth and you have something that dies, right, it just comes back, and then if you stop it from having that flying counter on it, it infinitely just comes back. So you get infinite, sack triggers, life gain triggers, ETB triggers, death triggers, right? There's so many different ways to make a combo with Luminous Broodmoth in here. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I have listed on here, and they're all pretty crazy. So Luminous Broodmoth is good. Woe Strider is another one that comes up all the time on here. Famished Paladin is another one. Yeah. So, so there's quite a few cards that just seem to, kind of lend themselves to infinite combos. I have Paradox Engine on here one time. I know there's a ton of infinite combos with Paradox Engine, but I just didn't get them in here. Teshar is another one. Where there's a bunch of infinite combos with him that I just haven't gotten all of those on here yet. So when I was going through here, I saw some that were really cool that I've never seen before. And I just wanted to ask you guys, like, what infinite combos did you see on this list that you thought were like interesting that you maybe you haven't ran into or ever seen before? Drunken, what do you think?
I honestly haven't seen a lot of these. I don't put a lot of thought into combo when it comes to Historic necessarily, because I don't think it's that viable in Historic. It is fun, except for obviously the teamer combo deck that you see all the time, because that one's like actually pretty consistent to pull off.
That one's not infinite though.
It's not infinite. Finite. No, yeah, it's not infinite. But out of all these, they're all pretty interesting, I think. The amount of Luminous Broodmoth, like, I get it. That's a freaking great card. There's a reason it has a price tag for the paper version of like $13 or something like that. That's expensive for a set that's like, that was opened like pretty heavily and is pretty much garbage. I don't know. I think they're all pretty cool.
Paulo, what do you think?
So this is really cool. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of combos I've seen before. There's a lot that I've already thought of myself through Commander's Pass, one of that being Veto and Exquisite Blood. Without having Sanguine Bond, Veto kind of like fits that. But something I thought was really interesting actually was a card that I actually play in my... I always forget her name. The one the commander that plays dragons, angels, and demons. What? Yeah. Kalia. There it is. Yeah, Kalia. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So in my Kalia deck, in my EDH Kalia deck, I play Bladewing the Risen, which is a really cool dragon that has like a lot of good recursion. And I think that with you have it as ×2 with Cruel Celebrant or a Blood Artist effect. Yeah. With infinite pings, like doing like Timmy pings, like I think that is super cool. It's a really unique way to do like an aristocrat effect using like a zombie bone dragon, right? Like, obviously very expensive to do, but I think really cool. Something really unique that I have not seen in Historic, I don't think ever. And I completely dig this combo for sure.
I messed up on that one. I shouldn't have Cruel Celebrant and Blood Artist in there. Because they're not crucial for the infinite combo. Because I could put Cruel Celebrant, Blood Artist, that one night, Zombie Night, where when you enter the battlefield, it pings you, right? I could apply those to basically almost all of these that have any type of ETB thing, and it kills your opponent, right? But they're not crucial for the infinite combo, so I kind of messed up putting that there, because it's not actually crucial for the infinite combo. So I did that. I purposely left out things that would kill your opponent, because I don't think they're not part of the infinite, Does that make sense? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Overall, I really like this deck. What about you? I mean, like, why don't you like tell us about like the kind of end game combos we got going on here?
Oh man. Well, so first of all, the ones that I thought were really interesting were kind of the hostage taker ×3. I thought was pretty funny because like Blade Weeding the Risen, right? It's a combo all in itself, right? You just continuously keep stealing it, and it just ETBs forever. It doesn't really do anything unless you have something that does ETBs. But thought that was silly that you could just do that forever. Blade Wing was really cool too. That's like actually the lowest amount of cards needed to. The mana cost is crazy for it, but the Planeswalker ones are nuts. Like the Niccolo Bolas, Oath of Teferi, Jace Cunning Castaway one is super crazy, where you just make infinite Niccolo Bolases and then infinite +1s on them. You don't really win with that, but you definitely, there's no way your opponent's winning, right? Like you've locked them out for damn sure with that one. So that one's super crazy. And then there was another Saheeli one that I found with Saheeli Ray, where you have that. You use Spark Double, and then you use Sarkhan the Masterless, and then you just make infinite Saheelis, and they all have haste. You turn Saheeli into a creature with Sarkhan, right? And then she can make a copy of another Saheeli. You use the Spark Double to make a copy of Saheeli. Then you copy that one with Spark Double, and then just ball like a ton of Saheeli tokens, and then you just kill the person that way with you turn Planeswalkers into people. It's super weird, right? Like I like the Planeswalker ones a lot for some reason. There's not a lot of them, but I thought that was pretty cool.
You have actually done that to me before.
Have I?
Saheeli? Yeah. Yeah, we were playing like after a show. We just like kept drinking, and you're like, check out this combo deck, and then you got me like with like a few Sarkhans and Saheelis. You got them all haste and hasty dragon planeswalkers, and then swung in. I was like, what the fuck combo is this, dude?
Oh, huh. I must have had one too many and forgot about it then.
Yeah, well, I remember all losses, so.
Yeah, I will say the Famished Paladin one is probably my favorite. It's like one of the oldest ones, I think.
Yeah,
right? Because the Famished Paladin, the Sorcerer's Wand, they have been in Historic for as long as Historic has been what it is. Even when when it wasn't queuable. And I think that one's fun. It's janky, like all of these combos. All of these combos are janky as hell, right? Like, and that's not how combos normally are, but these ones are. Otherwise, you would see them out in the wild, right? But I do think that this one is particularly fun. But mostly because I played it.
Nice.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
I agree.
So, all right, that's my question then. Which of these combos do you think is actually the most viable that you could slot in maybe to a deck? Because some of these are like heavily reliant. They're going to take up a lot of deck space, right? But I think other ones can actually slot into well-known decks. One that I'm thinking of is Dualcaster Mage right now. So they have that Dualcaster Mage combo, right? But if you use Dualcaster Mage and Replicate, Repudiate, like any other type of replication spell, and you target another creature, and then you cast Dualcaster Mage, you have infinite Dualcaster Mages. So all you would have to do in that deck is just add Replicate, Repudiate into the deck, and then you've added another infinite combo into the deck. So I thought it would slot in there. I don't know how. I don't play that combo, so I don't really know if it would be viable or not, but.
It is still played. I mean, like we've seen Dualcaster Mage, and we've seen people constantly trying to do things with Dualcaster Mage. And it is probably, I would have to say that is probably the most viable and most played combo out of this list, just because of the fact that it's very easy to slot in a haste enabler, a trample enabler, or whatever, go infinite with, hasty creatures, swing in, get that 20. And it doesn't necessitate like a very high mana cost, right? You can do it, I believe, turn 4, turn 3 if you have some kind of like mana ramp or something like that. But definitely turn 4, you can get this combo off and, GG. And you get and we've already seen that with like Dualcaster Mage and, the Neoform combo, right? So
yeah.
Out of all of them, the most viable, it's hard to say, right? Because like to make a good viable combo deck, you need like low converted mana cost generally, And then you also need pieces that not only do they enable combos, but they're also good on their own. And
yes.
So like you really have to like go down the list and see like what is like, I would say Veto and Exquisite Blood, but Exquisite Blood isn't necessarily great on its own, and it's 5 converted mana, and it's 5 mana cost for an enchantment, that only does one thing, and it really is dependent on something specific. But like, I think something with Heliod, like I know we're going to see combos in the future, so pretty much anything that's going to have Heliod in it, I think is going to be...
There's one.
Yeah, I see that there's one here.
Yeah.
But this one is still a little like, it's a little weird. But I do think in the future, we probably will be seeing Heliod combo decks, like just as they introduce older and older cards into the format. But it's hard. Yeah, it's hard for me to say. Probably what you guys both touched on is one of the better ones, because it's how many colors is that for the dual caster combo? Is it
blue red? That's it.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah, that's not a bad one. It's viable. Dual caster is only 3 mana, and then the other cards another.
Well, it'd be 5.
Yeah, the other.
Yeah, it would be 6 actually.
Altogether,
so it'd be 6
right?
mana to get that off.
Yeah. Oh.
What the hell?
Hoshi froze.
Yeah, he did. His face.
He looks stoned as fuck. All right, so there were some technical difficulties there, so I'm going to keep going about this this combo here, this 6 mana dual caster combo. Yeah, I think out of all of them, that one is probably the most viable. You're right, Apollo. If you've seen it in the wild and you've seen it on ranked, then it's definitely doable. I do run across combo decks sometimes, and I almost always beat them, except for that teamer one that's not infinite, but it is, combo heavy. Yeah. They are all fun, though. I do like them. I love them in Commander, and I love them in other formats. I just think, this needs a little bit deeper of a card pool before you really start seeing like really viable combo decks.
Agreed. So a combo I was looking at. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
So the combo I was looking at was actually Niv Mizzet, Perun, and Curiosity. While Niv Mizzet is very tough to cast because of its like color combinations, the fact that blue can protect is something. Do I think this is like tier 1 combo? Absolutely not. Like this is like, some fringy fringe. But what's cool about Niv Mizzet is if you're able to untap, because of the mana cost of Curiosity, you're able to use the rest of your mana for protecting Niv Mizzet, right? So, it could be cool. Once again, like, I don't really see this. I know of this combo. I knew this combo existed. Might be something a little better in like Historic Brawl, but in actual Historic, very flavorful, but very cool, definitely. But I just don't know if it can handle the Uro, man. Like that just stops it all, right?
I think just Niv Mizzet is already like it's like win more. Right, because Niv Mizzet's already pretty much like lockout once you untap with him. So this is just kind of like an extra little spice on there to. You absolutely win if you get this combo off. It's infinite, right? Well, it's infinite draw, so you're throwing basically your whole deck at the person. So you can mill yourself to death with this. If it was a life gain deck, you might not be able to kill them. So
the pings got to beat the decking, right? Like
exactly. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was like, I like that combo. But so I've been playing around this last week with these combos, and I tried to shove as many of these combos as I could into one deck. So I put the color combinations on there, and then I tried to see which one can I shove the most combos into a color combination. And if I did... if I did Mardu, then I could have fit a couple more in there, but I wanted it to still be good, so I did Orzhov, right? Like black and white. And so I put the Veto Exquisite Blood combo in there, and then I put Luminous Broodmoth, Solemnity, and then Sun Cleanser and Woe Strider, and a couple of these other parts in there for the Broodmoth combo. And then I also added it, since I already had Solemnity, I added in 9 lives in there. Okay. And so what I found out is I was able to get all of the combos off with that deck. And from what I found is that 2 of the combos in that deck vastly outdid all of the other ones. The Luminous Broodmoth ones, even though it makes the most amount of infinite combos, it is the least reliable out of them because it requires 3 pieces to get it to work. So that's not good. And if someone takes out one of your pieces, not great. However, Solemnity is super powerful. Guess what it does? It shuts down Nissa. Yeah. The best part about that is if they don't know how Solemnity works and they +1 on one of their lands, they kill their land because they turn it into a creature, but it can't have counters on it. So it kills it. Guess what else Solemnity does? It shuts down mono white life gain. They can't get counters on their stupid Pride Mates and all that stuff, right? Shuts it down. Solemnity does a lot of work against a lot of different types of decks. Now, if you're playing 9 lives, you have to be careful on who you're playing against. If you're playing against an Ugin deck, right, you're probably going to die anyways. But you absolutely die if they get rid of 9 lives. And then the other one is Veto and Exquisite Blood, right? You guys think it's kind of hard to get off, but it's only 2 cards. And Exquisite Blood, Mike, is, Drunken, is actually really good in a lot of situations. If people ping themselves, right, like if they shock, you gain life off of that. If they use Bolus's Citadel, they can't kill you because every time they hit themselves, it doesn't matter if they're gaining life. You're gaining life every time they shock themselves. So I played against someone that was using the sack deck with Bolus's Citadel, and they surrendered because I had gained so much tremendous amount of life. They were pinging me, sure, but it did nothing. Like I was up to like 60 life while they were trying to ping me down. So, and then it's not that hard to proc. Now, Veto Thorn of the Duskrow, right? Do you think he's better or worse than Sanguine Bond?
I think in this format, I think so when you're playing a constructed 1v1, I think it's always better to have something that is recurable, that is lower mana cost. And so something like Sanguine Bond doesn't do anything except for what it does. Just like, like its sister card, which is Exquisite Blood, right? They don't do anything except for sit on the battlefield and do the one thing they're able to do.
Yeah, that's true. I think Veto is easier to get rid of, though, because it is a creature. But Veto also can proc himself, right? He can give himself lifelink. He can give other creatures lifelink. He can also just hit the person if they don't have it. There's plenty of times where I started the combo just because they didn't have a creature on the board. And I had Veto. I dropped Exquisite Blood, and then I just hit them for 1. And then bing, 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 right?
Yeah.
So I feel like the Veto combo, I mean, that and the 9 lives, honestly, the one that won me the most was the 9 lives Solemnity combo, which is not an infinite combo. But there are like a ton of decks like Goblins that just can't do anything against that. They're like, okay, you win, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't do.
I think
literally
Goblins,
do nothing against that.
I think their biggest, their biggest problem is always life gain. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that all of these are hard to do, though. I think there's spots to put these things in. Like Teshar looks like it's really interesting. I think you can make a decent competitive deck maybe around Teshar. But I think Veto and Exquisite Blood are like the best one because you can put it in vampires, right?
Yep.
And it's just good. You can put it in a life gain deck, like the one that we just saw at Pwn, that our Reddit ranter, right? Like that guy was using a mono white life gain deck, and then, well, not really mono white, Orzhov life gain deck, right? And he just put that combo in there, and boom, he took the guy out, right? Sometimes if you can't get around somebody, having an infinite combo like that is better to have. So.
And I think you just brought up a really great point there, actually. Like, I think that's what's key to take away here. I don't think infinite combos can really survive on their own. I think, like, if you have, like, a combo deck, like something like Living End, right? Like, as you stated before, when you started, like, there's a difference between, like, combos and infinite combos, right? But if you were to stick a infinite combo as, like, an alt win con or, like, part of the pieces, I think that slots in the best. Like, I think that's the best way to utilize infinite combo. Like, Exquisite Blood and Veto. there's a lot of mana with that. If you built your entire deck around that, then that's very easily broken. But if you were a vampire deck or an aristocrat kind of strategy, and that was your main focus, and then an alt win con, like, oh, well, I just got Exquisite Blood and I have like a lifelink enabler, GG's, right? And something that I can think of from like Modern was Malira Abzan Company combo, using Malira and Kitchen Finks to where like it has persist and you can't get the -1/-1 counters. So if you have Kitchen Finks or the like Rakdos guy that has persist, it's either infinite life gain or infinite life loss, right? Like in your favor. But without the combo, it's still an Abzan Company deck, right? Like it still beats down, it still ramps really quickly. I can still get you down, no problem, without the combo. So I think you're onto something there. I think that's what's most important. If you're going to use infinite combos, it has to slot into something that is already pretty decent, and then maybe having the infinite combo either puts it to the top or puts it into tier 1 or makes it viable, right?
Yeah. And then one last thing before we move on. I had a little Easter egg for the next set that's coming out. Kaldheim. I have an infinite combo for Kaldheim.
Oh, I've seen it already.
And it's in Esper. So there is Kaya, the inexorable or whatever that word is, and then Karn's Temporal Sundering, or that new one that just came out too. There is a new take an extra turn and then exile it card that has foretell on it, right? That would also work with this. And so what you do is you get Kaya's emblem, which allows you to grab something out of exile for free. So all you have to do is take an extra turn, right, with Karn's Temporal Sundering or one of those ones that exiles your extra turn card, and then boom, you have extra turns for infinity, right? So game lockout at that point.
That's an expensive combo, though. My God,
it is. But Esper can control until they get that, right? That's one of the good things about Esper is they are very controlly, so they could potentially get this off, I think. That's what I was thinking too. That's an expensive combo, right? It's a lot of mana, but Esper thrives in the late game, right? So
they do, but I feel like in that kind of situation though, they'd be better off just wiping the board and then having their one threat, which is whatever, some big dumb creature or something that pings like a stupid planeswalker, some shit like that, right? Tornado sharks. But you're right. That is the combo. I saw everyone jumping on that the moment Kaya was revealed. They're like, "Oh my God!" With Karn's Temporal
extra turns.
Just on their fucking computer so bad it was leaking through my
God,
it's like some Ghostbuster shit.
Jesus. Well, that's it. Let's wrap up this infinite combo thing. Hey, if anyone out there, if you guys have an infinite combo that I missed on this, hey, let us know. We'll add to the list. And hey, this is for anyone else that's out there that wants it, because hey, combos are fun. So go get some combo on.
Agreed. Yeah.
Combo breaker. Yeah. we gotta add that in post, right? We gotta add the killer instinct.
Ultra combo.
So just as Hoshi said, please let us know in the comments below. And also we want to thank everyone on Reddit who participated in this. Without you guys, and Hoshi's hard work, we could not have this list. So as he stated, we'll post this list. And once again, thank you everyone who has helped out and contributed to this combo list. So moving on, we're going to go to combat. Historic Brawl is something that we've talked about pretty extensively through this channel, through this podcast itself. And it's something that we all have very expressively have mentioned that we love, and it's a very beloved format. We can beat that dead horse all day long. WotC, you need to make it a playable queue. You need to make it ranked, yada yada. Moto obviously has Commander as a playable queue. So yeah. We're not talking about that. What we are going to talk about was something that I found actually on Reddit, and this person posted a ban list, essentially, that it seems to be the trend that Historic Brawl is on the path of how historic ranked used to be, where people obviously really love this way of playing. And they want it to be permanent. And no, we don't want friendly brawl. We don't want standard brawl. Like, we don't like a mix of things. There should be some organization. There should be like a committee determining ban lists. And this user, Faust, we'll put the link to the description of the Reddit link to this. But I'm not going to go over everything that he's saying. Nor am I going to go into the descriptions of the cards he's saying, but I am going to go over the ban list that he has mentioned, and we're going to kind of talk about it and see how we feel about it. So if you don't know, if you guys are new to this and you don't know, Historic Brawl is essentially a singleton format where you can have a planeswalker or a legendary creature as your commander, and then you build your entire deck around that. Singleton means that you can only have one copy of the card aside from basic lands. Or unless a card says otherwise, like Relentless Rats or something, where, it says like this deck, you can have any number of copies of this in a deck.
Persistent petitioners.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know why, but, it's there. So the ban list that he mentioned, if Historic Brawl were to be a queuable thing, he has stated Omnath, Locus of Creation, banned as a commander. Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy. And by the way, he is mentioning all these as bannable commanders, not necessarily bannable in the deck itself. So Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy, Niv Mizzet Reborn, Paradox Engine, even though you can't have that as a commander because the effect, he wants this just banned in general, and his basis is because it's banned in EDH. Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. A pretty hated planeswalker. I love Ugin, but so essentially this is like the initial ban list that he has like proclaimed. And I know a lot of us, we all have very, very different opinions on this. So I'm going to start off with Hoshi. What do you think? Historic Brawl as a whole, this ban list, how should it go forward? Take it away.
Yeah, so this is a tricky subject, right? Because is this a competitive format or is it not? Right? I think it's not, right? At least right now. There's just a queue. There's no ranking or anything like that. So I don't think it's competitive, even though it is one-on-one, right? So I think it's different than EDH, and like the way that we handle the bans should be different. So first I'll address this guy's bans, right? Omnath as a commander. Yeah, gone, dude. I've played against Omnath. Broken. That is a hard commander to beat. I've only beat it once, and it was with Ashiok. That's basically targeted at killing Omnath at any second that he touches the board or stopping him from touching the board. And I still had a very hard time killing that deck. And then Kinnan, yeah. Kinnan is he's just so good as a commander that I think he should be banned as a commander, not in the 99. Same thing with Omnath. I don't think Omnath should be banned in the 99 or 60 or whatever Brawl is, right? I think you can have him in the deck, but I don't like the reliability of recasting him. And Kinnan, you can just build way too of a reliable deck around him, and then he has his own like win condition kind of built into him for how low of a CMC cost he is. So I think he's just a little too powerful. And then what was next after
Niv Mizzet?
Those two? Niv Mizzet Reborn. I don't know how I feel about banning that one. I feel it's okay to ban him if they come out with more viable 5-color commanders. Right? There really isn't any good 5-color commanders out there right now besides Niv Mizzet and the Forsaken King guy, or not Forsaken King. What's his name? The white guy. Yeah, Kenrith. Yeah. I think those are really the only two like 5-color commanders that are like viable to play. So yeah, Niv Mizzet's strong, but I don't know if he's bannable. And then what was next?
Paradox Engine.
It's in the 60. I don't know. Maybe in Commander, I think it's definitely worth getting rid of, but I don't think it needs to be gone in Brawl. It's only one copy of it, right? You don't have a sideboard, so I think it's fine. If you're able to get that one copy out and combo off with it, then good job. You did it. And then what else? What else did he have?
Ugin's the last one.
Oh yeah, no, no, not as your commander. Once again, he could be in the 99. I don't like Ugin. I know a lot of other people back me up on this one. I just think he's just too much of a one card solve all problem solution. I don't like cards that do that. So I'm not a big fan of Ugin. Yeah. So I mean, he could be in the 99, but I don't like him as a commander.
And I definitely agree with a lot of points you're saying. So on Hoshi's end, we have Omnath, Kennen, Paradox Engine, and Ugin. Oh no, I'm sorry. You said you're fine with Paradox. So yeah. Omnath, Kennen, and Ugin. Completely agree. Let's switch it over to Drunken. What do you think about this 5-card ban list?
So I almost completely disagree with this person. I mean, besides, maybe Kennen, I think is a little bit more powerful than the rest of them. But yeah, definitely, I don't think Paradox Engine needs to be banned. Like Hoshi said, it's 1 in the 60 or 59, and I don't know, like, unless you have some way to pull it out, and then you still have to ramp to it, and then like there's just so much involved in it, and like the huge difference. Like this person mentions EDH as a comparison, but actually I disagree with what Hoshi said. Unlike EDH, I think this is a competitive 1v1 format, whereas like EDH gives you time to kind of like pull off shenanigans and do stuff, and it has like other players to help you like help hold down the person who's trying to achieve their goals with Paradox Engine or whatever. So like I don't think that you need to ban a card like that in a 1v1 format, because you draw at turn 1, that's like not what you want to see. In Commander, maybe it is. And then Ugin the Spear Dragon, I do like this card. I definitely don't think it should be banned. It is a frustrating card to play against. Once it hits the the battlefield, you pretty much lose, I feel like, which is true. But it is, what is it, 7 or 8 mana? 8 mana. 8. I think at 8 mana, that's fair. Like, yeah, there's ways to like cheat it out with like, mana ramp, I guess. It's not really cheating, but there's ways.
But you're dedicated to only colorless, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it is hard to do. And as far as the format as a whole, I do think that they should make this a always queuable format. I think there's a lot of fandom around this format. I know we all love it, especially. I think it is far superior to Brawl. I know they're trying to push some kind of stupid ass paper shit, but nobody plays paper Brawl. Why would anyone do that when they can just play EDH because it's cheaper and it's like more fun, Yeah. And so, I think they need to sit down, once again, take the interns off this project, off the fucking Brawl project, put some real Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast employees on it, and make this something cueable, because this is a really fun format. I've been having a lot of fun this week playing it. I've been playing almost nothing but Elves, and I fucking love Elves, and it has been murdering. So yeah, I don't know. I can't talk higher of this. Like I said, I disagree with a lot of what this person said. Like, one thing I did want to point out is when they're talking about Niv Mizzet Reborn, they're saying like the only way to beat it is with an aggro deck. But like, that's how Magic is, right? So once something is queuable, so that's when you really like pan out the strategies there. So if Niv Mizzet is like one of the most powerful decks, but it gets beat by aggro, then like eventually the scales tip, right? So then aggro becomes more powerful, and then you see less Niv Mizzet. Sure, you'll still see it, but then you can start playing other like styles. So it's just like, it's this constant triangle of things, like circle, I guess, of like different strategies. So I do like where this person's head is at. I just I think these bans aren't necessarily ban worthy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree with you both on certain aspects. I view Historic Brawl as more, agreeing with Drunken Dork, as a more competitive format as opposed to EDH, just because EDH is meant to be played in multiplayer. Obviously, like when we play, right, like it is competitive. Like, you are trying to win at the end of the day, but there's a lot of politicking involved. Hey man, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you, right? But this is like strictly 1v1, and the goal is the same: get that 25 down to 0, right? In any way, shape, or form. So I do feel this is more competitive as opposed to like Commander. However, agreeing with what like Hoshi is saying, I do think there is some problem cards. Okay, so you said Drunken, like you're like kind of on the fence with Kinnan, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
So I would say I want Omnath and Kinnan banned for sure. I can see an argument for Niv Mizzet, but I'm gonna negate that argument right now and then talk about why I think Kinnan and Omnath should be banned. So Niv Mizzet, as you stated, is like, yeah, it's really powerful. It can only lose to this one kind of thing. Exactly. That's how Magic's developed. It's that triangle. Aggro beats this, control beats that, mid-range beats that. Like, it's that triangle. And what you just said, you play a lot of elves, right? So if you have this like hyper aggro or like create a hoof behemoth combos and stuff like that, where you're able to beat them down before Izzet is trying to even do what they're trying to do, then, then you start seeing less. And then, like you said, the scales start tipping and you create like a balanced meta. You create a control meta, a mid-range meta, and an aggro meta. The problem with Kinnan and Omnath, however, is that you have to build decks to defeat them.
Yeah.
Them by themselves are so oppressive. They're not necessarily broken. They're not. Like, I'm not scared of Omnath. I'm not scared of Kinnan. I have both decks,
Kinnan,
right?
yeah.
Like, but you have to build to defeat them. And that therein lies creates a problem, because when you have to do something to make sure something else isn't like oppressive or like S tier, like beyond tier 1, then that creates like a shitty meta. We've seen that in standard. Thus why like they ban things. Of course, this is not standard, and the card pool is very extensive.
Thank God.
And there's definite ways to get rid of Kinnan and Omnath a lot easier as opposed to standard. But the problem still therein lies when you have to gear your deck. Well, I can't play my Reese deck because it's just not going to beat Kinnan. It can't beat Simic. Like when you have to like decide that for yourself because of the possibility that this person's going to play this. And then obviously, there's nothing wrong with net decking, I don't believe. There's nothing wrong with playing tier 1. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win. So when the majority of the people are going to play like Omnath and or Kinnan, I think that's the problem, right? Like that creates a stale format. The beautiful thing about EDH and Commander is that there's such a plethora of commanders, right? Like, and you can have like a $50 deck or you can have like a $10,000 deck and the cheap deck can still win, right? If you build your deck correctly. So that's like a beauty of EDH is that the card pool is so extensive that the bannings are kind of, determined based on that. But everything else, I'm fine with. Niv Mizzet, I can kill it. Like Black can kill Niv Mizzet. I mean, it can die, and its ability is not oppressive. Ugin, I have zero problem with. As you've stated, it is an 8-mana planeswalker, and yeah, colorless does have ramp, but they don't have
a lot of ramp.
but they don't have D ramp, right? Like they don't have growth spiral. They can't do anything really. They only have mana rocks.
Yeah.
And not saying like there's plenty of colorless spells that make colorless spells cheaper and stuff like that. But once again, Elder Spell kills it, or Murderous Rider, or a lot of things. Like there's a lot of things that get rid of it, and then having it cost 10 the next turn. So what are you doing with what? So then you're determined on like what are you doing with your colorless deck at this point? You don't have your Ugin. Every time you cast that Ugin, I'm killing it, right? Like. Typically, that's how I play. I usually keep a lot of things for Commander. Either I'm stealing the Commander, I'm getting rid of the Commander, I'm exiling the Commander. I want that Commander to never resolve, right? Like, so, there could be a testament to like an argument based on that alone. EDH, I don't care about. I'm sorry, Paradox Engine, I don't care about. I don't care if it's, okay, sure, it's banned in EDH, but in 1v1, I don't care. It's part of the 59. As Hoshi has stated, it's just one card.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the main thing I got out of this is, like, this is a singleton format, and yeah, I think Kinnan, I think it is a broken card. Like, I have a Tiny Leaders Kinnan deck, and that is broken because, like, it triggers off of like mana dorks, and mana dorks are all 3 converted mana costs and less, and it gets like really powerful really quick. And like that one is, I think, a little more oppressive, but to me, Omnath, because it is a singleton format, like I think it's harder to achieve like what Omnath can achieve potentially, and like in things like regular historic. I mean, it absolutely is harder in a singleton format. There's no question about it. Whether it can achieve it or not is a different question, but it is a lot harder to achieve it in a singleton format.
One Lotus Cobra is a lot different than having 4.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's true, but you have unlimited access to Omnath. Like in normal format, you kill 4 Omnaths, that's it. I killed this one guy's Omnath 7 times, and he kept bringing it back every time because he just had an insane amount of mana. He brought it back until he was completely milled out of cards. He decked himself. That's the only way he lost.
I mean, but you won, right? Like, that was the thing. You still beat
one time, and it was so arduous. And it's my Ashiok deck, which is pretty much built around just killing Kinnan and Omnath.
Okay,
that's the
hold
only
on.
time I play that.
You just proved my point right there, because I remember when you were playing Ashiok. No, you did. You just proved my point. Like, that's why you're playing Ashiok, because you hated Omnath so much, and that was the only way. See, that's the problem I'm saying I don't want to see, where you have to play a certain way to beat X, Y, and Z, and that's not a healthy format in any way, right?
And it was still super hard. If I messed up even a little bit, he still almost killed me. Like, I still almost lost. And I had a good hand against him, too. So
all he has to do is just, or he or she, all they have to do is just do the things.
Yep.
Like, just do the things, right?
He was just doing his own thing, and I was like...
You got to exile properly. You got to, like, destroy properly. You got to counter properly. It's...
I think that's what makes this format so fun is, like... Yeah, I think people go in with the idea of like EDH, right? Like where they're like, okay, I'm gonna make this fun, like stupid shit, and it's gonna work. Like if I put this card and this card together. But like I do go in with a head like, okay, this is a competitive format. I'm not saying that. By saying this, I'm not saying you guys are doing anything wrong. It is whatever you want it to be. But like I go in thinking like, okay, I'm gonna make an aggressive deck. It's going to be powerful. I want to win by turn 4 or 5. Like that is when I want to win by. And like that is what most of my decks are in Historic Brawl. They are that.
Yeah.
And the problem with a singleton format though is like sometimes it's hard. You can have as much consistency in there as you can possibly do, but like at the end of the day, because it is singleton, like the consistency just isn't there, right?
Yeah.
Like you can only have so many 1-drops that do one thing, and you can only have so many 2-drops that do that, one thing, right? Like where it is hard to get that consistency sometimes. Like even like there are games where I have where it's just like any other format of Magic where I just draw 2 lands and then I do nothing, right? Like for the whole game.
Yeah, but there are definitely huge differences in the power levels between Omnath, Kinnan, and then your Elf commander, right? Your Elf deck's probably is probably really good, but I'm just saying I've played against it and it's good. It's nowhere on the level of Omnath and Kinnan though. Like you can definitely kill me.
Yeah, I think
it's
Kinnan,
not even close.
I think Kinnan is, like I said, I think Kinnan is really powerful. I think Omnath is also very powerful. Don't get me wrong. I just do think at 4 separate colors, and like it is like trying to achieve things with land drop, right? Like with lands coming in, that's where it becomes powerful, and that's why like things like Lotus Cobra and their other cards that really interact with it well. But there's only X amount of cards. They don't
need it. Omnath procs 4 mana. He just keeps procking. Yeah, Omnath, he doesn't need Lotus Cobra. He's insane on his own. Like clearly you didn't play against him that much. I've hit him quite a few times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've only played against him a couple times, and I have beat Omnath every time with Mirren. Or with not Mirren, whatever her name is, Mywin. I think.
Yeah, Marwyn. Yeah.
But I don't know what her name is. But anyway, and I have beat Omnath every time with Marwyn. But that's only because maybe I got good draws. Maybe Omnath got bad draws. Like, it is Magic.
And you're also hyper aggro, right?
Yeah,
As you stated, hyper aggro will always be a little bit better against decks that kind of depend on that mid game. Yeah, like that little dirty kind of thing.
So I have a suggestion for bans in this, and it's something that we can't do in normal Historic, right? Is you can have personal bans in Brawl, right? This isn't a ranked queue. You guys were misconstruing what I was saying about this being a competitive format. I think it is competitive because it's one-on-one, but it's not competitive in the means that there's no ranking, right? Like in the other ones, like, right? In Standard and in Historic, we have ranked queues to where it's all about playing the strongest deck. It's kind of not what it is in this format. It's more about having fun while you're playing it, right? You still want to win, obviously, but you see way more of a variety of deck in Brawl. But the one thing that you can't really do very efficiently in Brawl or in Historic or Standard is ban a certain type of deck. You can ban a certain card, right? But in this queue, you could have personal bans where you could say, I don't want to play against Omnath commanders. I don't want to play against Kinnan commanders. I don't want to play against Ugin commanders, right? Let me play the other people, right? And then you could do that. And then guess what? Everyone else could decide what kind of bans they think are reasonable. And then the Kinnan and Omnath people can just fuck each other, right? And just play only each other because no one's going to want to play those decks, right? They're going to deselect them from being in their queue. And then give them a reasonable amount of things. You shouldn't only be playing against one deck, but I think that would be really cool. And it's something that they could easily do, which you can't do that in Historic, right? But you can ban, like, personally ban a certain commander. I mean, will Wizard ever do that? Probably not. But
I think that's a great idea. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah. I do wish, if they did bring this as a queueable format, I do wish that they would they'd make it rankable too. But if they had a non-rankable queue like they do with regular Magic or like the regular formats, I think that would be a sweet thing to do. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
that is an amazing idea because in non-ranked Standard and Historic, people typically play janked unless you're trying to get your dailies or whatever, But yeah, in ranked, anything goes. But if you're just trying to play or test out a deck or something, you know what? I just don't want to see Omnath today. I don't want to see Ugin. I want to see how this or maybe you're trying to increase the chances of a deck you think you might be good against. What? I want to see how this goes against an Mizzet. So you take out a lot of things that you don't want to see. These are searchable terms. It's not that hard. You do that when you play a tribal card, pick the creature type, right? So it's like you said, it's not a very hard thing to program. That's an amazing idea, dude. Yeah. They should definitely.
Dude, hey, Wizards of the Coast, hire this guy, man. He'll figure it all out for you. All right.
Get rid of the interns. They're obviously getting the coffee
working
wrong.
On your mobiles in no time. Okay, we'll have mobile tomorrow.
This comes from the guy who wants to ban most cards, and he's helping you.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I hate cards. Ban them all.
No, seriously, that is a seriously really great idea, and I hope Wizards, if you ever listen to this, make that happen for us. They're not. They're not. But make it happen. Stop making secret layers and do this. A final thought. This is a competitive format, and I just don't want to play certain strategies in order to defeat certain strategies. I want to play what I want to play in defense of you guys, whether it's to have fun while winning, obviously we're all trying to win, right? Something for me is what Drunken has stated, this is a turn 3, turn 4 format. And if you're not playing towards that, then whatever you're doing better be good enough to last longer, right? So, Joyra is not a turn 4 deck at all. No. But the things I'm doing are dirtling and stalling as long as I can to get my combos off. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess like final thought on this, like, yeah, this is very controversial. There is a lot of cards we can talk about here. This is just 5 that this singular post has talked about. I guess final thought. Let's do a little round table. Final thought before we end this. Is there a card that you definitely want banned that is not on this list?
Yes.
Any card.
Yeah.
Hoshi, take it away. Take it away.
Teferi, Hero Dominaria. I don't think he's. Please God, get rid of that card. I fucking hate it. I don't think that it is super powerful. It is definitely beatable, and I beat it. But it took me 45 goddamn minutes to beat it. But just stop it. I want to play a couple games. I don't want to sit there and watch you be big brain. Every Teferi player is like this, too. They're like...
Oh my God, you are so correct on that. Yes.
Oh man, let me think about this.
Have the timer go.
I could
scroll down 2 times, right?
Yeah, rope every time, dude. Yeah, ban that.
Table passage.
Ban Teferi, please. Check out it and let me get on with my day. Yeah. That was it.
Turn 1, Fable Passage.
Yeah.
Stroke the chin for a while. Well, I don't want him to know that I'm blue and white, even though my commander is blue and white.
Yeah, right? So stupid.
Oh, that's so funny. Trunkin, how about you? Any card that you can think of that you definitely want banned?
No, but I will say this. I really want them to bring this as a queuable format. I really want them to implement that thing that Hoshi was talking about. I think that's a great idea. And I, more than anything, really want them to make a 4-player queuable version of this. If they did that, that would I don't think I'd play Commander anymore, honest. No, that's not true. I would still play Commander, but yeah.
That's their cash cow now, dude.
I would still do that. But I do think that would be amazing. If they could do it any one of those 3 things, I think it would be great.
Multiplayer for sure. Yeah, I think Hoshi's idea of being able to select something you don't want to see in a non-ranked queue, that's an amazing idea. I think that should definitely happen. As for myself, bans, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would like from bans. I think, okay, all right, this is what I think about bans. No, I do hate shrines, and I hate Hoshi's shrine deck. I hate it with the massive.
You can't ban shrines. There's not even a commander.
All the shrines.
Every shrine.
Get them out of here. No, but the fun thing about shrines is they come in certain sets, right? Okay, anthologies. What's up with that? If you're gonna make anthology sets, try keeping Brawl in mind as well, right? Maybe instead of bans, having more access to commanders, which they were doing really early in 2020, and they just kind of stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they added more commanders that are really unique and really powerful, that might, kind of offset the need of the complaints for Omnath and Kinnan, right? If there's more destructive power with Rakdos or Orzhov, where they can have a lot of combos or kill spells or whatever. There's so many things you can talk about to where it offsets their power and gives you more access, right? I think that's just the best way to make a healthy format. Add more cards. Add more powerful cards from Magic's past.
Singleton, absolutely.
And Singleton for sure. That's what I want to stress. Singleton for sure, because if you had more access to cool commanders, it's historic. Even though that is an extensive card pool, it's nothing like EDH. So if we had more unique cards, like we've talked about in previous episodes, there's nothing stopping them. They can add in whatever the fuck they want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's nothing stopping them. They can add in whatever they want.
The thing is, it's called Historic Brawl, though. So if they add it in, they're going to have to add it to Historic.
And that's fine. Just don't make it too crazy. Yeah. Make it, something. That's what I gotta think. Well, anyway, we kind of went about this for a while, but that is combat. That's how things go in combat. You got to talk about it, you got to argue about it, you got to debate about it, and it makes it fun. So let us know in the comments below. What do you guys think about the Historic Brawl format? Do you guys want a card that you specifically want to see added in as a commander, Or what do you think about the ban list? Did we miss something that you guys think should definitely be banned? Let us know in the comments below. Yes. And if you're listening on wherever you get your podcast, be sure to follow us on YouTube at the Mana Dorks or search up the Mana Rant as a searchable term. So moving on, we're going to go into our main phase 2, and that is the most beloved game ever, the Horseshit card game. And I'm going to let Drunken Dork take it away.
All right, to the game then. All right, so this is the Horseshit card game where I, Drunken Dork, open up a pack of Magic cards, and I got a Zendikar, which hopefully will be the last time I open a Zendikar pack for a while. So I open up a pack, I name 4 cards. One of the cards I name is fake, and it's up to these 2 drunken idiots to figure out which one of those cards it is. And last week, these 2 losers fucking both got it wrong, and I was the winner, as it should be. And I think this week is going to be kind of difficult for you again, because I think I got a good gem here, some would say, of a card that I made. Man.
So, big brain, huh?
Yeah. So we'll see, though. I maybe I'll just pull out, 3 lousy cards, though, that, like, you guys already know. So yeah, I'm
fun fact on MTGA Assistant, I've opened 90% of Zendikar Rising. So if I get this wrong, I am truly a moron.
I can already tell you are, yeah.
Yeah, no, you gotta read the cards when you open them.
Lifelink and Trample and Shroud shirt on. So
that's true. You are untouchable right now. You also didn't pick what commander you wanted to ban, you piece of shit. You lost combat. You didn't. You pick one. You stopped scurrying around the question.
I said I didn't. I don't think I would. And then I led into what I said.
Shrines, shrines. Okay. No, you just immediately said shrines, not a commander.
That mead is going to your brain.
Oh, let me tell you.
Oh man, it is silky honey smooth.
This alcohol is getting me pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna. I got these cards. I think I got four gems here. So y'all ready?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So the first card is Sajiri Shelter. It is 1 and a white. It is an instant at uncommon, and it says target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. And then that's not it. It is also a land, and it says Sajiri's Glacier. Sajiri's Glacier and is battlefield tapped, and it adds a white mana, of course. And then there's Wandering Cleric. It is 2 and a green. It is a creature elf cleric at common, and it has Kicker, 1 and a green. When Wandering Cleric enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it is a 2/3. The next one is Gitrog Bug Catcher. It is 1 and a red. It's a creature goblin warrior at common, and it has trample. It says when Grotag Bug Catcher attacks, gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each creature in your party. It is a 1/2. The final card is Seafloor Stalker. It is 2 and a blue. It is a creature merfolk rogue at common. And then it says 4 and a blue. Seafloor Stalker gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature in your party, and it is a 2/3. So last week I started off with Hoshi, and this week I will start it off with Hoshi.
What? Again?
Nice.
Ah, man.
So, what do you got for me, Hoshi?
Let's go with the Bug Catcher.
Bug Catcher. All right.
So same as last week. I already had this in my head, dude. I just had to no. I'm not dual caster maging. I'm not Jason Newbro. I'm not Spark Dublin. I'm gonna go with Gitrog. I think that card is horseshit.
It's Grotag. Grotag Bug Catcher.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
you're
gentlemen.
doing the same one. Okay.
Yeah, the same one. All right, gentlemen. I'm gonna start by turning my light off, but I'm gonna say, you guys.
This is gonna prove a theory I have. This is gonna prove something.
You guys did fucking awful this week because you both got it wrong, which makes H. Make drunken dork here who can barely even say his own fucking name.
Is it the
Is it the
elf?
merfolk?
It's the elf, isn't it?
It's the elf. Yeah.
Ah, damn it! I knew it.
It's the elf.
That was my other one. Ah, no.
So my theory's right. If I
was
pick
50-50.
Hoshi gets it wrong.
Ah, no. I was 50-50 on that too. Damn it, that sucks.
Yeah. Wandering Cleric is not a card. And so next week it's gonna start getting a little harder. We're gonna step down the sets. I don't know if like they're giving me a pack from like every set going back like I think 24 sets or something like that.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I think I'm gonna start from the very end and work my way up to where we are now, just so I don't have to read Zendikar again. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Good.
Yeah, you think you guys can get any of them?
No.
Yeah, probably.
Hoshi, I believe in you, and Apollo, I definitely believe you.
Yeah, as you should. So that was our main
allowed
phase
to go
2.
after me. So he's not allowed to go after me anymore.
I'm pretty sure my conspiracy theory is correct. If I pick
He's
whatever
fucking
you
me
pick,
up. Then I miss it.
Hey, yeah, drunken gets the W, man. Like as long as it's not you,
You're like the cooler dude from that casino movie. You go to the table and then everyone just starts losing around you.
Yeah, it's my aura, bro.
The fucking cooler.
So that was the horseshit card game. Let us know in the comments below. Did you get the card right, or were you wrong, just like me and Hosh? Pretty much, I'm assuming you guys were right because I definitely don't know Magic. Clearly. So next, after our main phase 2, is our end step, and that's normally where we talk about other stuff that we've been doing this week, but this episode has been kind of like going on a little long, and we usually say the same things. We're doing houses and stuffs and moving, and it's the same old song and dance. So we're immediately going to go into our cleanup and discard, and that's just social media promo and finish whatever we've been drinking. So you can find us on wherever you get your podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. Search us up at the Mana Rant. That is the best searchable term, or you can look us up at the Mana Dorks. Be sure you do the same on YouTube. If you haven't, please give us a sub, give us a like, click that bell notification if you're already subscribed, and thank you for all your support. We really do appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below on what you want to see next week. And if you do, please follow us on Instagram at the Manadorks Podcast. We just post funny memes, silly nonsense, and stuff like that. And you can also follow us on our own personal Instagram since that's your thing. If that is your thing, my name is Michael Butler Bro. That's BROH. You can follow Drunken Dork at Drunken Dork and Hoshi at Super Houston. And with that, we'll go into our discard and finish. Fortunately, whatever we've been drinking,
I opened a beer and I just poured it in, so I'm fucked.
Yeah, this is like a full truly. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this.
Cheers to you, and cheers to you all. 2021.
Cheers.
Let's get it, everyone.
Yeah, baby.
Happy Magic. Take care, everyone. Oh, man.